Happy New Year. I haven't met many of you, and some of you I know, and I just want to say Happy New Year. I My name is Rosalinda Vent, and I am with Women of Substance, Men of Honor. I am the founder and executive ED that is actually helping to serve and manage the organization. We provide resources, which include we provide housing, we provide educational support, including scholarships, along with connecting to the educational needs, both vocational, university, or junior college, and or GEDs. We also provide employment. We have local internships here in our office, as well as we are connected with many of the companies that we work with to employ the young folks, as well as we work on relationship building, which ties into family reunification and such. I have been doing this since 1998 when we started it, and have been incorporated since 2006. I am from the foster care system, raised in Los Angeles County. I was in care for over 10 years, where unfortunately I was sexually and physically and emotionally abused. My mother had 6 kids by 4 different men. And so we were spread out, myself and 4 of my brothers were spread out through the Los Angeles area in various homes. And unfortunately, they got caught up in gangs and prisons, where I had the different route of education in corporate America. When I founded this organization, I was a executive with Federal Express. I was in executive management for over 20 years. And so I have the executive management experience as well as the actual lived experience. Our goal is to support both the foster youth, the juvenile justice youth, the homeless youth, and what comes with them, which often we know it is their families and or their support system. So we are here to develop healthier outlooks on things, healthier outcomes on things, as well as making sure that they understand that they can and will be a success story if they choose to be. What does that mean? We have a 15-week alpha leadership course, which is for both male, female, however they identify, for both the youth in care in local group homes, in the Juvenile Justice Center, in the YA, and those coming out. Our ages we serve are 12 to 25. Our housing units are throughout Ventura County, with 1 in Los Angeles County, because I am from Los Angeles County, and that was a commitment my mother asked me to make if I was going to put our story out. So I live by and die by that commitment. Familia is very important to us as we go through our journeys. And so what we want to do and continue to do in the city of Thousand Oaks, we are actually based in Newberry Park, and we serve kids from Oakland to the Mexican border, because as we know, many of our foster youth and homeless youth are transit. They could end up in Oakland, but be from Ventura County. And we want them to know that there's always that connection to come back and or engage should they need that hand up, not hand out. And so we teach our 15-week class either inside the homes or here locally in our office, utilizing proper COVID practices. We did not close during that time, especially last year. We were actually following the procedures, going out to the group homes and going out to the actual homes, the extended foster care placements, making sure the kids had food, making sure they had gift cards, Uber cards to get to and from work, making sure they made it to school, make sure they had the equipment for school. And so we are serving that population continuously. And so what we're doing with Thousand Oaks and have with the city of Thousand Oaks, have had an opportunity to have some funding to develop not only the group home, but youth that are in foster care here locally, where it's meeting the needs of their basic needs, but developing them under the 15-week Alpha Leadership course, which includes teaching them proper communication skills, basic life skills in terms of employment, and making sure that they are connected to employment, not just having a class, but by the time they finish that class, they're working for one of the Fortune 500 companies and or going to school. Also making sure that they are connected to housing, not just referred out, but by the time they leave our class and or our program, they are connected to either affordable housing or are in our housing programs. Our housing is located, we have 1 in Westlake Village, 1 in the city of Moore Park, 1 in Oxnard, and as I mentioned, 1 in Los Angeles. We're in the process of also securing another home Our ultimate goal for the agency is to have a leadership academy where we would house the young folks, so that they are in one place, and then they would step down out into our scattered model so that they would have the hands-on, the development, and the community surrounding them. We do have clinicians that work with us, and so we do work with the mental health, the emotional health. And ultimately, the goal is to give that hand up that that young person wants. We are not to commute sentences. We are not trying to change the trajectory of the prison reform. What we're saying is if you have had, as a foster youth or homeless youth, crossed over into juvenile justice, we want to make sure you have those resources and the tools and development when you come back out. And so what we want to continue the partnership in the city of Thousand Oaks is locating those young folks, locating those families that need that additional resource, that additional hand up. We do have a group of volunteers that are very, very solid. I have over 100 volunteers. I do have volunteers that are also in the industry that come alongside us that are willing to donate their time, their monies, their homes, or whatever is needed. But we just want to continue to support our community. We want to help develop the young folks that may have made a mistake, and we want to make sure that youth know that they have not been left behind. So that's kind of a little bit of our story.